Game Demo!
All right, everybody, it is daily demo time, and today we're going to have a look at Shift 2. I've got Marcus Nilsson, executive producer on the game, here to show us it. Marcus, thanks for dropping by.
Thank you.
So, Shift 2, for everybody out there who might not be familiar with the game, where are you guys taking the Shift series with this one?
So Shift 1 came out some 18 months ago. Shift 2 is obviously a sequel to that game, as you can imagine. And once you make a game that sells about 5 million copies, you get a lot of feedback in how you can make the sequel better. It's very clear for us that Shift 2 is something that we push more thoroughly into the sim genre, more realistic racing.
Okay.
It's coming out now in March. It's done, and we feel great about it.
All right, cool. So we've actually got a race going on here. Tell us what we're seeing on the screen here. This looks like some pretty intimidating driving conditions.
Yeah, one of the really new cool features that we're bringing to the game is night racing. And night racing is interesting. Talking to real drivers, how a track that you think is completely changed once the darkness is there. You lose all reference points, and that's what we're seeing here. We're also seeing probably the biggest step forward for the racing genre in a very long time, and it's the helmet cam and the way that the helmet cam interacts with the way you drive. Driving a race car in 150 miles per hour is not a calm situation. It's intense. Things in the cockpit is moving, the mirror is vibrating, your head is being pushed forward as you brake or pull back as you accelerate. When you drive, you actually look into corners as you approach them, or you would be crashing all the time. And all those things we've been able to mimic with this helmet cam. And that's really what we're falling back upon when we call this is the most realistic racing experience there is. That's what we're talking about. You're not going to get any closer to a very realistic racing experience than the helmet cam.
Yeah, and we notice here as our friend Gino here is sort of hitting top speed that the dash is actually blurring out a bit, and you're sort of like just laser focused on the road ahead.
Yeah,
right?
That's correct. Yeah, and that's trying to mimic kind of what a driver is also feeling. It does give you focus on where to take the car, but also it mimics the way that when do you actually think about checking the oil pressure or your gearbox temperature.
Right.
You do that when you have time. You do not do that when you go at 250 miles per hour. You don't do it in corners, and that's kind of where we blur the cockpit out.
Okay. So so there was an example of nighttime racing, and we'll go ahead and queue up another race right here to check out a little bit different taste of the game. All right, so thanks to the movie magic of editing, we are ready to start race number 2. Marcus, tell us where we're about to go right here.
Yeah, so now we're rapidly traveling to Japan, to the Tsuzuka track there. We are going to see GT1 cars.
Okay.
The game is carrying the license for GT3 and GT1, race series in Europe, and some really kind of monster machines and that Gino's going to be controlling here. It's going to be set at dusk, so sun is pretty low, can be kind of conflicting with your view side at times. But those are all realistic problems that a driver could have when he's driving.
Exactly.
Again, probably a better view of the helmet cam here, how you're looking through the helmet. You can see the edges of the car, traveling 200 kilometers per hour now into this first corner. See that Lambo just missing him as you go by. You can see the sun now glaring through the windshield. This is very intense. You can see how the mirror is kind of moving, and the helmet cam is looking into the corners of the corners coming up. So it's the overall goal for the career, going back to the GT1 series that we're licensing, is to become the world championship, world champion of GT1, and that's in the very end of the career. Then the career in Shift 2 have gotten a real overhaul of layout and variation, and we developed it with two kind of key words in mind: player choice and variation.
Right.
So it's really down to you to unlock stuff through racing, and then you pick and choose what you want to play. We never force you to play anything. If you don't want to play drift, which you unlock, then you don't play drift. You play something else. So it's totally down to the player choice. Something else that will absolutely drive people to go crazy in Shift 2 Unleashed is Autolog.
Autolog, that's right. A feature that was introduced in Need for Speed Hot Pursuit.
Yeah, that's correct. So we kind of nicked that feature, and you made it a little bit different because this is a different game. It's a sim racer. It's about shaving hundreds of seconds of laps, and there's also a game which carries a lot of depth into the feature thanks to upgrading and tuning of your car.
Right.
So in Hot Pursuit, basically you had a Porsche, I had a Porsche, and we competed with the same car, whereas in Shift 2 Unleashed you can obviously have any car to compete with, and it's up to you to make that really as compatible as or competitive as possible. Autolog is very present every time you go in and go out of races. There's going to be a friend's leaderboard there, and if you're not on top of that friend's leaderboard,
right,
you better do some more racing because you want to be best, right?
Exactly.
So Autolog is very putting some glue onto this product, which is just ridiculous. Playing it in the office, you can't go unless you're on top of that leaderboard.
Awesome. Sounds great. And so with this third and final lap wrapped up here, it looks like that's a good time to go ahead and end. But Marcus, before I let you go, can you let everybody know when Shift 2 is going to be out in stores and the platforms it'll be available for?
Yes, I will. So Shift 2 Unleashed is coming out on the 29th of March this year, so just simply 3 weeks away. It's coming out on PS3, Xbox 360, and PC.
All right. Cool. Thanks a lot for your time, Marcus.
Thank you.
There you guys have it. Shift 2, now on with the rest of the show.